So we were about to go for a hike in Love Valley, and in order to get there we had to drive through Gureme, which is the most popular part of town, the busiest. And we were driving past the open air museum, and we stopped because there was a bit of traffic and it was a tight space. And while we were stopped, there was a shuttle coming the other way, a shuttle bus, and it just scraped right past our car. Luckily, there was a police officer that was literally right there. There was 2 police officers that saw, and they knew it was the other guy's fault, but Hammer is now working with them to try and figure out what to do about it. It's difficult because, you know, we don't speak Turkish, so it's a little bit harder to figure out what we're supposed to do and all the information that we need to make sure that, like, we get a police report or whatever it is that we need to prove that it wasn't our fault and that we don't have to pay any money once we return our rental car. It's a very frustrating start to the day, or I guess middle of the day. It's a very frustrating start before we even get to our hike. And hopefully this will get resolved pretty quickly, but I don't know how soon it'll get figured out. It's crazy because I can tell that the guy who drove the shuttle just keeps arguing, saying that it wasn't his fault, but the police officer saw it, everybody saw it. Now they're filling out papers, so hopefully Hammer's got it under control. Kind of stinks, but I think it'll be resolved pretty quickly. I know we're not gonna have to end up paying for it. It's just really sad that this happened. So Hammer just walked back for a second, and he said that the police said not to worry. They're writing out a paper so that they're writing out a paper that says that it was the other guy's fault, and that we can show insurance. It's like an official paper to show insurance so that they can collect the money from the other guy's insurance, and that we won't have to pay anything. So hopefully we get everything that we need. It's always a little bit scary, it's always a little bit scary when you're in another country, especially if you can't speak the same language and everything, because you want to make sure that you get everything that you need, and that there's nothing missing, because this kind of stuff can be really rough when you're in another country. But it sounds really promising. Hammer's like really calm about it, says not to worry. So I think we'll be okay, and we shouldn't worry about it. We'll just we have the number for the rental agency, so we'll just send them a message once all of this is over so that they know, and then maybe like a picture of the statement that the police give us. So hopefully this will all work out, but we'll definitely be writing about this in the vlog too, of how to handle an accident when it happens. It's probably been about 30 minutes at this point, but I don't know how much longer it's gonna take. Hammer's been talking to them the whole time, and he said not to worry, he's just getting information, but it's taking a while. And in the meantime, I've just been manning the car because it's really crowded here, so both the shuttle and the car had to pull over, but there's a lot of cars that are going past, and so every time one does, I get a little bit worried that it's gonna hit ours. So I'm kind of standing around just making sure that nothing else bad happens to our car while we're here. I'll let you know when it gets figured out. Hammer has both my phone and his phone right now because in like a scramble, mine is the one that has Google Translate on it right now. So he had his phone with him, and then he took my phone so that he could use Translate with everyone. So I'm just kind of stuck here waiting, and I hope everything's okay. I think that the officer and Hammer and the guy who ran into us are in like the officer's office, but I don't really know. They're not where they were standing before. So I'm really hoping everything's okay, and I just can't wait till he comes back. I can't wait to go out and go on a hike and just enjoy the rest of the day, because I know that all of this is going to turn out to be okay. It's a little bit frustrating, but in the end, hopefully we get our time back, and we can just explore, because this place is beautiful, and it just stinks that we're having to waste some of our day worrying about getting a police report and having been in an accident. So hopefully it all gets situated pretty fast from now, because it's already been maybe like 45 minutes, close to an hour. Another update coming later.
You see it?
Yeah. I just didn't want to get my shadow in it. There she is.
Alright guys, so today we were heading over to go for a hike, And as we were making one turn, this minibus decided to come and turn at the same time. So I stopped my car because I was like, you know, I'm just gonna stop it here because this guy's trying to make a really tight turn right now. And I see he's coming real close to the car, so I start honking the horn. And he scrapes it in the back. Like, he made it through the whole thing, but he scrapes the back. And I was like, oh, I knew it was gonna happen. There was not, like, I didn't have any control over it, so I couldn't do anything. But at that point, I realized, okay, we're in another country. I don't know any of the customs here when a car accident happens. We have a rental car. I don't know what to do at this point. And in my mind, I was just like frozen. But the luckiest thing happened. As this turn was happening, this turn happened alongside the open air museum, which has a ton of cops outside. So there was 2 cops who saw this happening, and after it happened, actually the guy who hit the car started driving away. And the cops ran after him, got the car to stop, pulled him back there. So that just made me look even better. So I wasn't guilty, obviously, because I didn't do anything. I just stopped there. The guy hit the car and was trying to run away. And it was such a smooth process, honestly. And I was so surprised because in the US, when car accidents happen, it's usually like one party versus the other, and then the cop just decides like who's right and who's wrong. If the cop's not there for themselves to see it, it's pretty hard because then it's one party's word versus the other. And there's a couple of rules in place that allow you to, Anyway, so the cops here were super nice, super helpful. It was really hard to communicate with them because they can't speak English, so it was Google Translate back and forth. And they basically took all of our paperwork, brought us to their office, and filled out everything. So I got a ton of paperwork about what happened here. So as you could see, like, his car was coming, and my car was here. There was a car parked here. Oh no, I was over here. No.
Yeah.
Was I? Oh yeah, I was over here. His car parked here. He was here. He's trying to whip it across me. So obviously that wasn't gonna happen. And it was just, no, I was here with you.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was here. He was coming over here. There was a car parked here, so he should have waited so I can go through. But he decided to come through this tiny space, which is then why it hit this car. So I went against the wall, and he hit my car coming out. It sucks that it happened, and it was really scary. And there's a lot that goes through your mind when you're in a car accident in a foreign place when you don't know the customs and the rules. But we got incredibly lucky because the cops really walked us through everything, kept us calm, cool, and collected. They did breathalyze us though, both of us, and even the guy who was parked. He wasn't even part of the car accident in general, but they breathalyzed him, they breathalyzed me, and they breathalyzed the other guy. Your boy blew a 0.00. So did the other guy though, 0.00. I'm gonna frame this, honestly. So overall, not an awful experience. When I called the rental car agency, they said we don't have to pay anything because it wasn't our fault, and the insurance is going to cover everything. The other guy's insurance is going to cover everything, so I'm all good to go. I don't have to worry about anything and just enjoy the rest of our road trip. Overall, very seamless process, and I'm incredibly lucky that the cops were there to see it. And Ruthie and I were both very, very scared at the time, but we're just so lucky that we got a lot of help from the locals here. So getting in a car accident in Turkey, not as bad as I thought, and we both made it out alive, and that's all that matters.
There's the end to that story. I do feel really bad for the guy that hit us because as tourists in a different country, it sucks to be involved in an accident because no matter whose fault it is, someone has to pay for it. And we're lucky enough to travel around the world, and we're on a super tight budget. But it does really stink for someone who lives here and works here to then have to sort of pay for a mistake that involved us. I just don't feel very good about that. But overall, we are so lucky. Thank you to the police officers. Thank you to all the people that were involved that were really, really nice to us. And thanks to Turkey for having good rules in place and supporting like good practices when bad things happen.
All right, let's go get a donor.
Yeah.
Better than getting in a car accident in America, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hi guys.
Bye.
Like and subscribe if you like car accidents.
And then your omelette on Sigaraberg on the way.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.